Happy birthday to you.
And I was you. And I was you.
Hey guys, welcome back. Today is November 2nd, and on this day, 35 years ago, yours truly was born. And I have always loved my birthday. Apparently, I loved it enough that I decided I wanted to wait on it because I was about 2 weeks late. I'm sure my mother did not appreciate that, but I love my birthday being right after Halloween. It's in my favorite time of the year. It's between Halloween and Thanksgiving, and then it's not too much longer, and then it's Christmas. So I've always loved my birthday being on November 2nd. This year I turned 35, which means if I wanted to, I could run for president now, which when I was in 3rd grade, that was what I wanted to do. That was my career path: lawyer, judge, president. So, you know, I decided against that, but I mean, I don't know. They've got me thinking maybe I should because nobody knows what they're doing. Anyways. So I thought what I would do is put together a bunch of prompts themed around my birthday and then read books based off of those prompts. It is my birthday, so if you could, go ahead and like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Let's go ahead and get into the vlog. So what I did was I wrote my prompts on this pretty blue scrapbook paper, and I put them in this little container that I thrifted. So let's see what book I'm going to read first in my birthday vlog. The #1 book on the day I was born. Okay, I have to Google that. Okay, so according to this New York Times bestseller list, The Plains of Passage was the #1, but it's a sequel. And it said some of the popular books from that time, and I've read like Jurassic Park, and I've read Eye of the World. So I think I'm gonna have to skip this prompt. Let's try again for the first book that I'm gonna read for this birthday vlog. Okay, so first is a Scorpio book, and I have just the perfect book for this. I am going to be reading The Scorpio Races by Maggie Stiefvater. I just finished reading the Raven Cycle like last month, and I really enjoyed it, and I especially enjoyed Maggie Stiefvater's writing. I think it was beautiful. So I'm not going to tell you how many days it is until my birthday because I waited an embarrassingly long time to start this vlog, and I don't have a ton of time to read these books, but I am going to try to read through as many of these prompts as I can. I think I have some really fun ones in here. So up first, a Scorpio book.
Happy birthday.
So it's like 10:30. I just finished The Scorpio Races. I really enjoyed this one. Obviously, I enjoyed it enough that I didn't stop and tell you about it. So, as you can see, I'm in my office right now because the boys are piled up on the air mattress in the living room. Because when you're a kid and you're homeschooled, you can do that on a random Thursday night. Anyways, in this one, you're following 2 characters, Sean Kendrick and Puck Connolly. Her name's actually Kate, but she goes by Puck. And they live on an island, and it's set, I guess, in our world, or maybe an alternate version of our world, around the time of the women's suffrage movement, because it does mention that at one point in the book. And it also mentions California. One of the characters visiting the island comes from California. But on this island, they have these water horses, and the water horses come out near the end of October, and people will catch one and then tame it in order to participate in the Scorpio races. and our two characters are going to be participating. Sean has won the race 4 out of the last 6 times, I think it said, and Puck is going to be doing the race on her regular old horse. Everybody keeps calling it a pony, and she's like, it's a horse. And everybody's like, you know, you're not going to win on a regular horse. These horses are like super fast. But the horses are trying to go back to the sea, and so she thinks that she can use that to her advantage. Her and Sean both have their own reasons for wanting to be in the race and for wanting to win the race. And I just thought the entire concept was really good. Like I said before, I love Maggie Stiefvater's writing. She can just write so beautifully and emotionally. It was a good book, good ending. I think I'm going to give it 5 stars. It was a good read. When I wasn't reading it, I wanted to pick it back up. And so I think the first book of the birthday vlog was a success. So, having said that, let's go ahead and pull another prompt. Okay, so the next prompt is a book inspired by the #1 song on the day I was born. The #1 song on the day I was born is Ice Ice Baby, which coincidentally is the song that I can sing word for word, and that's like my hidden talent. So I need to find a book based off of Ice Ice Baby. No problem. Okay, so I wonder, didn't Vanilla Ice write a book though, or have a book about him? There is. Ice by Ice, the Vanilla Ice story in his own words. Am I gonna read this? The autobiography of the first white musician to achieve fame and success in the world of rap. Oh boy. Apparently this really sucked because I cannot find it anywhere. Yo, Vanilla, kick it one time, boy. Yo, VIP, let's kick it. Dun, 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 dun. Take key, 'cause I'm a lyrical poet. My name is on the scene, just in case you didn't know it. My tale, created on me soon. It's $241 on Amazon. That sucks though. Because I was kind of excited to read the Vanilla Ice biography. There's nothing. Okay, well, as much as I wanted to read the Vanilla Ice autobiography, I can't find it anywhere, so let me go check my bookshelf and see what I have. So apparently I'm going to be reading Ice Ice Babies. The things I do for the internet. Okay, it's like 45 pages, so I'll be like right back to tell you my thoughts. The babies are Anna and Elsa. I'm trying to wake everybody up. Okay, so I finished it. The thing about Ice Planet Barbarians is it's not bad writing. It's definitely something that like has to be your vibe, I think. I did give this short story 3 stars, and this one, it's 2 of the characters from the series. They've just had twins, and it's kind of just a little, it literally says slice of life. So, you know, they're navigating being new parents, making time for each other, that sort of thing. But I didn't dislike the Ice Planet Barbarians, and I read, I think, most of the main series, or at least what was out at the time when it was like really big on TikTok or whatever. It's actually really cozy. They're a tribe, and so, you know, each book follows a different person, either the humans who are aliens on this planet, or the people that were in the tribe to begin with, as they're, you know, finding their mates. And it's actually similar to Stargate SG-1, the symbiotes in there. They have to have a symbiote in order to live on this planet. And so your symbiote will resonate, and then that's your mate or whatever. So they're kind of cute books. I mean, there's a lot of sex scenes in them, of course, but for the most part, like, the romances are kind of sweet. The aliens want to protect their mates, and it's all very peaceful and cozy, and they're a community. They help each other. So I actually really enjoyed the series for that. They were just very cozy reads, I think. So, for what that's worth. But anyways, let's pick another prompt. Okay, so this one is a book published by a birthday twin. So I need to find an author who was born on November 2nd. It doesn't have to be my same exact day of birth. That would be like crazy to find. But let's see if we can find a birthday twin. Thinking about some books that are on my TBR. Let me go grab those. Okay, so I snuck out and just literally grabbed a handful. Let's see if we can do some research and figure out when these people's birthdays are. So I know I have some Stephen King, but I'm pretty sure his birthday is either the day of my mom's birthday or the next day. The day after, so September 21st. Bram Stoker. Oh, so close. November 8th. Alright, let's check. Joanne Fluke. It just says she was born in 1943. Okay. So I can't find this specific day, unfortunately. So let's try Thea Guanzin, December 10th. Julie Olivia, April 29th. So that is a new. A.T. Qureshi, or the Baby Dragon Cafe. I had another book. Just totally skipped over that one. I can't find this one. So I've got one more book to try. I just grabbed one of my cozy mysteries, so we'll see. Maddie Day birthday. It says November 2nd. Okay, so Maddie Day is another name Edith Maxwell writes under. So let's see. Edith Maxwell birthday. Okay, it's popping up. Yes, Edith Maxwell, born November 2nd, 1952, is an Agatha Award-winning American mystery author, also currently writing as Maddie Day. I can't believe I found a birthday twin. And it was one already on my TBR. I am super excited. Okay, so I am going to start this book. I'm crocheting. Story of my life. Well, I guess I could show you. I've got to sew in the ends. No, it's not a blanket. I made it big enough it could be a blanket, but no. It is a granny square sweater dress. And it's like really big. I made it too big. I wanted it to be oversized and cozy, and I ended up, I don't like it. I made it too big. So I made one in like the fall, kind of like 70s vibe colors. But you can see, like, I've got a lot of yarn and I've got a lot of blues. And so I thought about making another one that's like wintry, that's blue. And I can just make it a little smaller than this one, and hopefully it would be better. But my next project that I'm working on is I took one of those sweaters that I got from the Goodwill. I don't remember if I told you guys about this or not, but anyways, I got a sweater from the Goodwill and I cut the sleeves off and now I'm crocheting sleeves onto it. And there was like the little tiniest hole down in the bottom in the front, so I think I'm gonna crochet like a pocket in the front too. But that's what I'm gonna be working on, so I'm gonna see if I can find the audiobook to listen to that while I crochet. But I'm gonna try to find that and read some of this, and I will try to check in with you this time. But if not, I'll tell you what I thought at the end. Okay, so I've made it about halfway and I'm checking in real quick. So far it's just, you know, your basic cozy mystery. It's pretty good. She owns a bike shop. Can't relate to that. But she is in a book group that solves murders. So that's cool. Right now they are just kind of gathering evidence, trying to figure out who killed this random guy. So far it's pretty good. I'm thinking this is definitely a series that I would pick up another book in. So that's a plus, because the last cozy mystery that I read, I also picked for book group and we all like pretty much hated it. I felt so bad because my mom and my sister had never like really read a cozy mystery before and they were like, this is awful. I was like, I promise it's not always like this. But anyways, I'm gonna finish this up tonight and I will check back in with you tomorrow with my final thoughts on it. So, speaking of birthday twins, another notable birthday twin is the Cookie Monster. So I got some Cookie Vermonster, which is vanilla ice cream with chocolate chip cookies and chocolate cookie swirls topped with fudge swirled whipped topping and fudge chips. So I'll give it a try. Pretty good. I think I give it like an 8 out of 10. It's pretty good. Back in my office and I finished my book and one sleeve of my sweatshirt. The kids are asleep on the air mattress in the living room again. I don't know, to be a kid again, I guess. But I wanted to go ahead and pick my next book because it's only midnight and it's a Friday night, so I can stay up and read a little while longer. A book inspired by the #1 movie, the year I was born, the day I was born. I'm pretty sure the #1 movie on the day I was born was Home Alone. I was wrong. Home Alone was the #1 movie for the month of November, but the #1 movie, the actual day I was born, is Jacob's Ladder. I have never seen this book before in my life. This is not a book, a movie. Upon further research, somebody wrote a book based off of the movie. So it has like less than 200 pages. So I guess I'm gonna read it and we'll see. No, I don't think that I can. Up Yours, You Adolescent Scum. Is that actually in the movie? Okay. It is my birthday and I can do what I want, and I'm making the decision to pull another prompt. Okay. A book written by a Scorpio. Okay, so I could read Dracula, but let me just do a little bit of research. Authors that are Scorpios. I'm going to like verify all of this because Google has been telling me shit that's wrong a lot lately. So be aware of that. Do Scorpios make good writers? Google says Scorpio likes mystery and tends to be secretive. Therefore, writers under this sign may best be suited for mystery writing. sleuth and detective stories and thrillers. With your darker nature, horror and gothic writing might work well for you too, with macabre themes and settings. The Scorpio missed the memo. I'm a fantasy girl all the way. Okay, but speaking of fantasy, Holly Black, let me double check when her birthday is. November 11th, so yeah, she's a Scorpio. I do have a Holly Black book that I would like to read, and it's a book on my 25 and 25. So I think I may pick that. I think I'm going to read The Cruel Prince. So I've almost finished this book, so maybe I should update you about it. This is really good. I don't know why I've waited so long to read it, other than the fact that I just have so much that I'm wanting to read. But another good thing about this book is it's on my 25 and 25 bingo. So I can peel that off and see if we get a bingo on my birthday vlog. That would be fun. So anyways, in this one, at the very beginning, you meet Jade and her family, and her parents are killed by one of the Fae, and they go to live with this man. And as she grows up, she wants to become one of the Fae, not like become one of the Fae. She wants to belong in this world. She wants to be a knight. She wants to fit in. She wants to belong, but she's bullied. Like, that part of the book is almost a little bit infuriating, like the unfairness sometimes of what she goes through. So that was really well written. I am at the part now where all of the, like, well, I can't say all, but a pretty big action scene just played out, and they're dealing with the fallout of that now. And I definitely will finish this up pretty quickly, and I know that I'm gonna want to go on to the next book when I get done with that, and I do have the next book. So I guess it depends on what prompt I pull next. I might read that one, but I might save it because I've got so many series that I've started and I've got to keep reading. She has kind of really and truly kind of almost become an unlikable character, but you understand why at the same time. So it's kind of one of those situations where the abuse or the trauma that you go through, if it were to mold you into something that is maybe not necessarily good, I don't think that she is like too far gone in making some kind of bad decisions, but you can kind of see through the story she has these moments where her morals come back, and then she has these moments where she just decides, like, she wants to be Fae. So she has these moments where she is just brutal and, ruthless. And I don't know, I kind of find myself wanting her to go back to being that moral person that I know that she is, because we know that a thirst for power creates villains. And so, I feel like she could be on that precipice of, she could be a hero or she could be a villain. And I think it is very interesting that the character was written to where you don't always root for her and the things that she's doing. Sometimes she's doing things that you don't want her to do. And it's been a really interesting, really engaging read. Obviously, I've made it a good bit of the way through it, and I should finish this up today, and then I will give you my final thoughts. Okay, so I did finish it. I'm a little torn though. Like, I really enjoyed it, but I don't know if I enjoyed it like a 5-star read or a 4-star read. And the reason is that I really did just like question her choices, and I don't know that I liked her being the way that she was. The the choices that she made and the things that she did, like I realize why she did it, but I don't know if that was my favorite or not. And then also the deal between her and Prince Carden, I don't know if that's my favorite either. So I think I'm going to leave it at a 4-star read, but I do see that there could be potential for some of the other books to be 5 stars. So I did really enjoy it. And now it's time to pick another prompt. Oh, it's your birthday? You pick. I love that. So let me go look at my bookshelf. Okay, I think I'm going to read Hemlock and Silver. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm about to go cook supper and I'm going to start the audiobook. And if I'm not liking it, I'll change my mind. So before we can do birthday cake, I have to clean the table off, which means I need to show you guys what I thrifted for my birthday. So I got this at one of the Goodwills. It's obviously very 80s, but that is the theme that I'm going for. I found this purse basket. So I'm doing a basket wall above my dresser, and so I have been on the lookout for like interesting looking baskets, especially ones that I could hang on the wall. And so this one's perfect, and it came with these flowers, but I figured I could put like seasonal ones in there. I finally found a heart shelf, so I was very excited about that, and it's got a little peg on it that I can hang something. Now the blue on it is not really the blue that I want, so I think I might like tape the wood part up and paint it, or just repaint the whole thing. I'm not sure, but for $3.99 I definitely had to get that. So first of all, I found a basket that looks like a pan. That is so cute. I found some embroidery thread, and I thought this was funny. They're both 99¢, which is a great deal for the amount that's in there. But this one says CF, kindly remove yourself. And so I'm sure there's a funny story behind that, and I kind of wish I knew what it was. They had these cute little candle holders that are like rocking horses, and they were both 99¢, so I grabbed those. We're going to be doing like a vintage Christmas theme, so that kind of went with the vibe. And then they had these little wooden nutcracker ornaments. Growing up, we had some little wooden ornaments similar to these on our tree, so for $1.79 I had to grab those. Halloween was half off, and so it was normally 99¢, so you know, I got it for like 50¢. So liked that. I'm gonna be making a gallery wall that's china plates, and so I found every time I find like a single plate, I try not to break up like sets or anything, but if I find a single plate that I like, I tend to grab it. And I think these were like maybe $1 or even less than that, I don't know, but it's got like a little rose pattern on it. It's Max. We looked everywhere for the Grinch and we couldn't find him. But Max here was only $1.99. And I told Josh, I think that they sell if not these exact mugs, like similar ones at like Hobby Lobby. So later on I could find a Grinch just so that I have a set. But Max is my favorite anyways, so I was really happy to get that. This is like a salt or pepper shaker. There was only the one, but it's got the color and the theme that I'm going for. It's got like that crockery look, and it's got a blue pattern on it, so I grabbed that. I found these. These are 80s earrings. They were $3.99, and I initially picked them up and I put them back because they were $3.99, but I was like, I know I'll wear them, so I'm gonna clean these up, and I have my own 80s earrings. Speaking of, I found this notebook. It was 29¢, and it is from 1988. I also have this pack of handkerchiefs for 99¢, and it has the different colors. And then also I grabbed this cross stitch book, another hard shelf. I was very excited. This has been very poorly painted, so I will definitely be probably repainting it, but I thought about maybe seeing if I could just strip the paint off and see what the wood looks like, because the wood in the back doesn't look bad. So I might just leave it like plain wood if I can strip the paint off, and if not, I'll just repaint it when I repaint this other one to match, because I will be needing like a softer blue, not that like navy blue. Then my favorite thing, I think this is probably my favorite thing that I found. It's a vintage jacket. It says K2 1988, but yeah, I was definitely excited to find this, and not only did I find a vintage jacket, so did Wyatt. Overall, I think it was a very successful birthday thrifting trip, and now that I've shown you, I can clear all this off and we can have cake. So what do y'all think?
Good. I wish it was chocolate.
Speaking of thrifting and 80s, 90s vibes things, if that's interesting to you, stick around, because I'm not going to share that here, but I think I'm going to be creating a whole new channel to share my thrift finds. These are the ones from earlier in the month that I've just had laying out. Because I was kicking around the idea of starting a new channel and filming the haul because it was so good. So if that sounds good to you, like the thrifting and the 80s and 90s vibes stuff, half finished crochet projects, maybe even some journaling and planning videos, and cross stitch, trying recipes out of vintage cookbooks, like that sort of thing. If that kind of stuff sounds good to you, I think I'm going to be starting a second channel for that kind of stuff, because obviously that's not booktube content. This time it was birthday content, so it fit in. But as you can see, I've got some thrift stuff that I can share, some thrift hauls with you. So definitely stick around and I'll let you know when that channel's ready. So I'm about 1/3 of the way through Hemlock and Silver, and we're following our main character Anya, who studies poisons and antidotes, and the king comes to her asking if she will come with him to his estate and try to figure out what is poisoning his daughter, because she's kind of just wasting away and he feels like she's being poisoned, but they can't figure out how or what is poisoning her. And so at the point where I am now, Anya is kind of watching everything, checking her food, things like that. Knowing T. Kingfisher and her books, I'm gonna say that there's something supernatural going on. And like I said, I'm only 1/3 of the way through. She's just now trying to solve, you know, this mystery of what is killing this girl. But I think there's gonna be some kind of supernatural something, a curse, something. So I just finished, and I was right. There was like a supernatural type twist, and I love this. This is my favorite T. Kingfisher, and I think this is one of my favorite books of the year. So T. Kingfisher, the way that she reimagines her fairy tales, there's always a little bit of a dark gothic kind of twist to them. This one was so unique. Of course, it's a retelling of Snow White, and in the beginning she's going to see if she can figure out what's poisoning the princess Snow. And of course the story of Snow White includes the queen and the magic mirror, and those elements are in there, but the way they're done is just so interesting and unique, and I really enjoyed this one. This is, like I said, my favorite T. Kingfisher so far, and I definitely think you should read this one. I know I'm vibrating, I'm sorry. I had to come up to Red Owl to get my caramel dulce frozen with whip. Yes, it's 61 degrees outside, and in Florida that means it's winter time, and still getting frozen coffees. and that will continue. So November 2nd is also Plan Your Epitaph Day. Don't know if you knew this, but it is. So I've been thinking about what I would want mine to say. First of all, I want to have a blue headstone. Okay? I want to be tacky. I'm going to be the only tacky person in that cemetery. My headstone is going to be blue because that's my favorite color. And I want it to be like vintage looking, like white lace and like maybe like quilted. I want it to look quilted with lace on it. I want it to look like somebody thrifted my headstone, okay? On there, of course, you know, it'll have my name and when I was born and when I died, hopefully like 100 years from now. And I want it to say something like cherished wife, devoted mother, I don't know, beloved daughter and sister, something. I don't work on that part later. But then it's got to say something about how much I love coffee and books. After Jesus and my family, coffee and books are pretty high up there on my list of priorities, okay? It's very, I mean, maybe I could just have a picture of a coffee on there too. It would have to have like how much she wanted it to be 1985 the entire time she was alive. Then it would have to say something like she loved coffee and books a lot. May she find every coffee shop and bookstore in heaven. Yeah. Which, I mean, it's heaven. So in heaven, do you have to like buy things? Would money even be a thing in heaven? I don't think so. So I think there's just like coffee places. There must be a different word for store. So there's like places that you can go where you can just get like whatever kind of coffee you want. And every book ever is there. Because my idea of heaven, of course, heaven is perfect. Which means that in heaven, there's a chance to read every single book that ever existed. Because that's one of the things that I don't like about dying one day is that I'm never going to read every book that I know I would love. You know what I'm saying? And, like, I have this irrational fear. It's not really a fear. I'm not afraid of it. But just, like, this feeling of, what if I never read my favorite book? You know what I'm saying? Like, the one book that would just be so good and life-changing and just would have, like, completely changed who I was as a person. What if I never read that book because I die before I read it? That's sad. But anyway, so on Plan Your Epitaph Day, let me know what would be on your epitaph. Because mine would say she's gonna drink all of the coffee and read all the books in heaven. So, I think I have time for one, possibly two more books. Don't look at how totally messy my office is in the background. So, oh, I just told her today that this is one of my prompts. So, I'm gonna text Alana and ask her to pick me a book. First, I have to send the text that I wrote her earlier and forgot to hit send. I do that all the time. Which, speaking of the conversation that we were having, I will link her channel down below so that you guys can go check her channel out. She just did this huge holiday unboxing thing from Journal Say. They sent her so much stuff and it was so good. It's a little bit of a longer video, but there's just so much good stuff. So some Halloween stuff, some, you know, like fall, Thanksgiving stuff, and Christmas, just all of the things. So, anyways, having sent a response to her other text, now I'm going to actually tell her I'm texting her. Also, I just drew the prompt. Alana picks a book for my birthday vlog. We'll just send that and see what she says. Now, I think I might draw two so that I can be reading two books at once, because I have 2 days. I have 2 days to finish the vlog and edit it and then the third day it needs to be up. So I think I am gonna draw one more. Ooh, so a November book. I guess in this one I can maybe do a book that is set in November, or a book that has November in the title. I think would count for a November book. So let's see what's on Kindle Unlimited. There's just one called November, New Orleans Series Book 1. I'm not reading Colleen Hoover, sorry. Man of the Month Club, November, Second Chance Spicy Matchmaker Romance. No Kiss November, a small town Thanksgiving romance novella. That sounds promising because me and Alana were just talking about how we're kind of weirdly drawn to read romance right now, and we've decided that it's because the world is absolutely totally insane and we enjoy the formulaic guaranteed happily ever after that you get with romance, especially holiday romance. And this one's Thanksgiving, which is perfect for a November book. So I think I might get this one, but just to make sure, I'm gonna look a little bit more. November Rain. Oh, it comes out November 5th. November Rain is my favorite Guns N' Roses song. It's top tier. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna go with this one. No Kiss November, a Thanksgiving romance. And then it's a novella, so it should be short and I should be able to get through it. So I will check back in with you and let you know, and also to let you know what Alana picked for me to read for this vlog. So I thought I would show you guys really quick what I got for my birthday. So first of all, my sister gave me my present in this bag. And it did come from TJ Maxx, and it was so funny because she handed it to me and I was like, I literally saw this checking out of there the other day and I almost grabbed it and got back in the line to get it because I wanted it, and now I have it. And then she went to Sleepy Hollow and she actually got me a very cute copy of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. It's so pretty. I love this orange. The end papers are pretty. It's a very pretty edition. So I love that. And then my mom got me a romantasy coloring book. So I don't know, I thought maybe I could do some time lapses of coloring some of these while I was reading an audiobook, listening to an audiobook. Listening to an audiobook is reading, so don't let anybody tell you any different. The other thing she got me is one of the book vases with my last name initial on it, and it's blue, so that's perfect. And then she also thrifted this for me. So it's like a teapot, but a clock, and it's got a little frowny face on it. It's so cute. It's definitely giving Alice in Wonderland vibes. It's very cute. So it will definitely be finding its home here in the library somewhere, probably over there on my Alice in Wonderland shelves. And then my best friend sent a whole box of birthday goodies, and I'm so excited about this. So first of all, our new favorite horror I can't speak anymore. Our new favorite horror author, Ronald Malfi. She sent The Narrows and The Wolf and the Woodsman, which sounds very interesting, and a blue holographic textured, love that cup. So I guess I'll fill this up with water while we do our writing this month. A must. Hot chocolate, some Wednesday stickers, and a Wednesday Addams Christmas ornament, which is really funny because I sent her the Wednesday Addams Funko Pop And she sent me back the Wednesday Addams Hallmark ornament, which I love. Some more Alice in Wonderland, this time washi tape. Very cute. It's like my people know me. More Alice in Wonderland, this time a puzzle. I love that. I love the Thomas Kincaid Disney things somewhere around here. I think it's in my office. I put one together that's Beauty and the Beast, so we'll put that one together too. I got some mini books. And then, last but not least, there's Sir Didymus and Ambrosius. Isn't that cute? So that's from my favorite movie ever, Labyrinth. And this is cute. He's going on my shelf somewhere, or maybe my chair. He can go back here with my Jareth. And then I'll just need to collect like Ludo and the little caterpillar thing and Hoggle and Sarah and all of the characters. But anyways, that is it for presents. Of course, Josh took me thrifting. I showed you guys that. And yeah, so all in all, it was an amazing birthday. So the one that Alana ended up picking was the bookshop on the corner. And I thought that was really funny because I told you guys that we were doing a lot of cozy romance. And that is what she suggested that I read for my birthday vlog. And I actually already read it. I listened to the audiobook while I was crocheting my Halloween costume. I made a poncho so that I could go as Lydia from the Beetlejuice animated series, and I was literally crocheting my costume like right up until time to leave. And I didn't take any pictures, my bad. Having said that, I will update you on both of the books that I just read. So the No Kiss November was pretty good. I think it's like a 3.5 because I don't want to give it a 3, but I also don't know if I should give it a 4. It was a novella, so it was short. And it was cute. It was kind of funny. I highlighted a few things in here that I thought were funny. So her grandmother, I think it was her great grandmother, like kind of brushed a guy off that was like trying to kiss her or something, and so he cursed her. And you know, it was all fun and games until the love of her life was struck dead by a malfunctioning float in the Oak Bend Thanksgiving parade. I shuddered to think of my great-grandfather's final moments as that inflatable giant grinning squirrel came crashing down towards him, the big plastic acorn in its hand delivering the death blow. I thought that was hilarious. Okay. And then her grandmother was engaged and they were planning the wedding. They were elbow deep in checklists before grandmother Ella realized my grandfather was having an affair with the town mailman. And then her mother ended up getting divorced before she was even born. And so like the women in her family, not all of the women, but like her great-grandmother, her grandmother, and her mother have been cursed. And so she thinks that her true love, like if she falls in love with somebody, they'll die, or something bad will happen because she's cursed. It was hilarious. And then like she's had some boyfriends in the past and they like broke up with her in like ridiculous ways. In college, there was the awesome guy who left in the middle of our first date because he claimed he had an overdue library book and never called. One said he couldn't date a Pisces. It was crazy. But anyways, another thing that I highlighted was she looked in the refrigerator for honey. Does anybody leave honey in the refrigerator? Like, I leave it in the pantry because if you get it cold, it gets hard, right? I mean, is that just me? Am I doing that wrong? Anyways, oh, all of the streets names are like Cinnamon Lane and Allspice Avenue and stuff like that. And so I was like, I didn't know if the person who named the town streets had been baking or baked. And I thought that was funny too. There was a yarn bombing situation where somebody crocheted and put it like on the tree. So I don't know if y'all know what yarn bombing is, but that's what it is. It's where you crochet something and you leave it. Anyways, I won't even get into the guy who gave me his number and then was hit by his own ice cream truck. Yeah. This thing was funny. Because this book didn't take itself seriously, it knew what it was doing. It was just funny. He was dressed like a businessman, one of those developers who came into small towns and Hallmark movies to demolish the place before realizing the error of their ways and falling in love with a woman with a cutesy job that would never make ends meet in the real world. I thought that was funny too. Her friend says, well, she says that her friend thinks that this town is some kind of a magical cross between the Shire and a Hallmark movie filled with hunks. It was like, that sounds like a great place. I mean, I don't care about the hunks, but the Shire and a Hallmark movie, I like that. Out of all of the stuff that she says, the most unbelievable part is when she says that she worked sometimes as a sub, but because it was closer to the holidays, there were less sub jobs. That's not true. I know for myself, when I was teaching, I had to take a day off near the holidays to go Christmas shopping because when the boys were at school, I had to work. When the boys were out of school, I was also out of school, but then they were out of school and they were with me. So, besides that, once it gets to like Thanksgiving, Christmas break, teachers need a break too, man. They're much more likely to take a day off at that point in the year than they are at the beginning. So that was fake. It was a cute story. So because she thinks that her family line is like cursed, there's like this love curse, when she goes back to the small town that her family is from to help her great aunt, like she swears off men, especially during the month of November, because that's like when the curse happened or whatever. And she's like, any other time I'm, dating awful men that I know I'm not going to want to continue a relationship with. It was like, okay. And it's really funny because she, of course, meets a guy and she's starting to like him. And at one point she calls to talk to her mom about the curse. And her mom's like, oh, that's just something that I told you. So, anyway, it was funny. So I'm thinking a 3.5, maybe a 4-star. It was good for a novella, I think. The bookshop on the corner was really good. Alana knows me so well. Our tastes align a lot in books and pretty much in everything. That's why we're best friends. But anyways, in this one, Nina is a librarian and she is losing her job at the beginning. There's been some cuts. They have to reapply for these positions, but it's pretty obvious that she's not going to get one of these positions. She is doing this training to potentially move into this other position, and the guy doing the training, they're doing this exercise where they go around and they tell, like, if you could do anything, what would you do, basically, kind of thing. And her thing was to start a bookshop. And so because she's not going to get this position, she decides that she's just going to, like, go for it. And so she goes to buy this big van, and it's in Scotland. She goes to get it, and then she gets turned down. Her, like, permit or whatever to park it where she lives is turned down. So she decides to, she's going to have to move to this place where she bought the van from. And so she starts renting this place. She sets up her little bookstore. She's basically getting the books from the library because the library is closing and they're not going to keep the books when they move into the new facilities, because the new facilities are not really going to be focused on reading and books and things like that. It's going to be more like a hub for, internet and all of those kind of other services. And so she's getting these books, and she has a couple of love interests in the book. That part was not necessarily my favorite, which is why I ended up giving the book 4 stars rather than 5, because one of her love interests, through no fault of her own, but one of her love interests was not actually available. So I didn't necessarily like that part, but I really enjoyed the book because at times it felt like it was set like in the past or something, and then it would say something about her cell phone or the internet or something like that to like remind me, oh yeah, this is like set in modern times, because it is set in like a small town in Scotland, and she lives in a like remodeled barn on a farm, and it's like a village, like where she goes and she sets up and she's selling books to the people that live there. And I don't know, it just had like old time vibes and also modern. And I don't know, like it seems like that would be something that I wouldn't like. It would like pull me out of the story or something, like or it would be confusing. But I actually really enjoyed that. Overall, the person that she ended up with, that romance storyline, I really did enjoy. So overall, great book, great pick. I think it was a great book to end the vlog on. So let's go back and do like a quick recap of what I read for the vlog and my rating for it. So the first prompt was a Scorpio book. I read The Scorpio Races, and it was a 5-star read. The second prompt I ended up picking was a book based off of the #1 song, The Day I Was Born, and that was Ice Ice Baby. So I read Ice Ice Babies, and that was a 3-star read. Then I read a book by a birthday twin. So I read Murders at Cape Costumers by Maddie Day, and that was also 3 stars. Next up, I read a book by a fellow Scorpio author, and so I read The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, and I also gave that 4 stars. Then I got to pick, because it is my birthday, and I picked Hemlock and Silver, and I loved it. New favorite T. Kingfisher, and one of my, I think, favorite books of 2025 so far. That was a 5-star read for sure. Then I had to read a book about November that had like November in the title, or was set in November. So I read No Kiss November, and I did round that up to 4 stars. And then finally, Alana's pick was The Bookshop on the Corner, and I gave it 4 stars as well. Now, I don't know about you, but I am a completionist, so I'm going to tell you what the remaining prompts were, and if I can, I'll tell you what books I was going to pick for those prompts. So I think I pulled out the other like picks. So one was my mom, one was my sister, and one was the boys. I don't know what they would have picked, so I pulled those out. Here are the rest of the prompts though. Birthday, buy a present. No, I read that wrong. So, birthday present, buy a book. Unfortunately, I didn't pick that one. A book released on or close to my birthday. If I had pulled that one, I have been doing the research. I was born on a Friday, and books release on Tuesdays nowadays. I don't know if that was true in the past. The only thing I could find when I tried to research that was at one point in time, books kind of like came out on the 1st of the month, and then bookstores could disperse them as the month went on or whatever. But anyways, I do know for a fact that Trail of Lies had a release date of November 1st, 1990, And that was the closest I could find that I like owned. I'm sure there was more, but I would have read this for that prompt. National Blank Day inspired book. So the national days for my birthday. I told you Cookie Monster Day. Plan Your Epitaph Day. We talked about that one. Look for Circles Day. Pretend to be a Psychic Day. I don't know what I would have picked for any of those if I had not already read The Raven Cycle. Those would have been good picks for pretending to be a psychic because those books are full of psychics. Alright, then I had one that said birthstone book. So my birthstone is topaz, and so I would have had to have found a book with topaz in the title. I'm sure there's one out there, but I can't tell you right now off the top of my head what it would have been. Oh, this is one that I wanted to do, and it is a book from Kayla's Scorpio Rex. So a few months back, she did a members spreadsheet, and she did some content based off of that. And one of the things that she did was she took like the top books by astrological sign and then also Enneagram numbers. And off of that one, the two that I was interested in were Dracula and the Book of Azrael. And I would have read either one of those. So maybe next year if I do another birthday vlog. Nope, I did in fact not remove all of these because there's the one, Let the Boys Pick a Book. Wyatt, what book would you have picked for me to read? Oh, the Alcatraz books. So he would have picked the Alcatraz books. I figured it would be kids books, like maybe Dogman or something like that. Warren probably would have wanted me to read Dogman. Wyatt says he would want me to read the Alcatraz books by Brandon Sanderson. Alright, and then I think this is the last one in there. And it is a birth month flower book. And my birth month flower is a chrysanthemum. And so, I don't know, I might would have just read the book Chrysanthemum for that one. That's a classic. So, that is it for the birthday vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. I just had this idea floating around in my head and just thought it would be fun to do. So, hopefully you enjoyed it. I definitely have a lot more ideas for fun vlogs, especially going into the new year. So, hopefully, if you have not already, you'll subscribe and stick around for all of that, and I will see you again soon. Bye.
Happy birthday, happy birthday.